Welcome back, everyone. So I click on various fitness content on Facebook, probably like a lot of you, because I want to see what's out there. I want to see what people are saying. Maybe there's some new exercises or ideas that I'm not aware of that I might find useful. But I've seen this one video, or basically the exact same video, from at least 3 or 4 different creators now that show a few supposedly chest exercises. And I want to talk about them today because it's really egregiously bad. Okay, I don't say that too often, but these are pretty bad. Okay, so I'll illustrate the exercises they're showing, and we'll talk about why it really makes 0 sense. So these videos all are demonstrating dumbbell chest exercises, standing dumbbell chest exercises. So basically, they all show a standing dumbbell fly, a standing dumbbell press, close grip press, and then they do a vertical forward lift like this. So those are the exercises. If you guys watching know what's wrong, write down in the comments. I'm sure most of you probably do. Or if you've seen other videos that you think are questionable, send them my way and I'll take a look at them and maybe I'll discuss them in a future video. But back to these exercises, the primary problem is not the path of travel they're doing, right? All the motions they're performing are chest motions, right? As we've covered before, the function of the chest is horizontal adduction, which is basically just bringing your arms towards the center line of your body. So motion-wise, these exercises are fine. The problem, though, is that they're using dumbbells and they're standing, okay? As we've mentioned many times before, if you're using dumbbells or any kind of free weight, you're working against gravity. And gravity only goes one direction, and that's down. So the only way you're working against free weights like dumbbells are if your motion is going upward away from gravity. So in all these exercises, you have the correct path of travel, but an incorrect line of resistance, right? If we're moving this way, we want the resistance to go the opposite way, okay? So the only muscles actually being worked in these exercises are your shoulders, right? Because your anterior delt specifically raise these up. So the whole time you're doing this motion, your anterior delt is working to keep those weights up in that position. Now, only one of those 4 can maybe be possibly slightly justified, but even then, it's not any close. We're close to good, okay? And that is their forward vertical lift here, okay? So coming straight up is definitely full delts. And what these creators are trying to say is that if they come up at an angle, they'll be using their upper chest. And that is true to a small degree, right? The chest fibers fan out, so some fibers go in that direction. It's just that not many fibers do, and if you're doing this, you're not really working against the direction of those fibers, right? Those chest fibers will activate a little bit just to initiate that initial motion, but if you're going this way, and the weight is going that way, the weight you're carrying isn't directly working against those fibers of the chest, especially for the majority of the motion, right? That's like saying this angle is better, right, to catch those upper chest fibers, but it doesn't work if I'm just doing it carrying dumbbells, right? Theoretically, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is a better path to travel to target upper chest, but because the weight isn't going that way against that motion, it's actually going down, it's not actually targeting those upper fibers. All right, so I just had to talk about that because I've seen it multiple times. And the problem with Facebook, I feel like you should be quite judicious when watching Facebook content. There are some good creators out there, but there's a lot of slop, okay? There's a lot of people, some of them might know what they're doing and just are pumping out content just to pump out content because they're trying to produce volume and they're just copying whatever else they see, which is why I see lots of the same videos, whether the information in them is good or bad, right? It's funny because some of these creators I see do decent content that makes sense, and then they have another video that makes zero sense like this. So that's why I'm trying to teach you some basic biomechanics here so that when you see these videos, you can help discern for yourself whether it makes sense or makes no sense at all. But regardless, be judicious about what you watch. Think about it. Don't just take their word for it. Don't just look at their physique, right? There are a lot of people with great physiques out there. It's a combination of hard work, good genetics, and they're young. And when you're young and have good genetics and you work hard and you don't eat trash, you can get a great physique. It doesn't mean they know what they're talking about, okay? If having a good physique was the only qualifier for knowing what you're talking about, then why would, C-Bum, Mr. Olympia, have a coach, right? I'm sure his coach isn't buffer or bigger or more shredded or better shaped than C-Bum is, but he knows enough to train C-Bum, and C-Bum understands things enough to know that just because he's putting in the work and that's his goal, doesn't mean that somebody else might have more knowledge to help him, but it doesn't look the same because that's not their goal. But anyway, thanks for hanging out, everyone. And if you got the answer right in the comments, I'm sure a lot of you did. But thanks for watching. Please send me any videos, or if you have any questions, feel free to put them down there. And thank you so much. I'll catch you guys next time.